Sucharita, this is hugest escalation that we have seen India carrying out in recent times when it comes to diplomatic partnerships. Canada traditionally would be seen as a friendly nation, but the manner in which it has conducted itself over the last couple of years under Justin Trudeau, it clearly smacks of a very personal hostility that Justin Trudeau seems to be having against India. And an example of which is that there are fugitives of law who have applied for Canadian permanent residency and they have been given citizenship. Their applications have been fast-tracked, and which sends a clear message that Canada would indulge, Canada would patronize, Canada would shelter and harbor anti-India elements. It has been doing so for a while, and it sort of has peaked under Justin Trudeau, particularly during his second term. And Justin Trudeau seems to be beholden to these elements, Khalistani separatists, and because of which we have seen parades taking place in Canada, in Ottawa, in Toronto, where we have seen India's leadership being targeted and threats to assassinate them being openly given. And the Canadian establishment has protected that under freedom of speech argument, and we have seen our ambassador facing threats, because of which the Canadian security agencies themselves have upgraded their security. We have seen our ambassador being targeted and other diplomatic staff in High Commission and also the consulate in Ottawa and Toronto respectively being targeted. And despite that, Canada continues to maintain this farce that they have some credible information about the role of Indian agencies in the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who, by the way, was on a no-fly list of Canada and United States both.
It's clearly giving out a message, Abhishek. India is furious as its diplomats have been declared persons of interest. And very clearly, as I say, India is very outrightly rejecting all kinds of preposterous imputations. We are not going to take these charges lying down, is what India is telling Canada when it's recalling its High Commissioner and other diplomats back to India. Now, very important messaging, and that's exactly what I was talking to Mr. Shingla right before he was live with us. And very importantly, India is not going to take these charges lying down. When we're calling our ambassador, we're recalling our diplomats, we are giving out a clear message. I was just speaking to him about the kind of the students that go to Canada from India, the Canadian students coming to India. There is also an exchange of the work visas between the two countries. So very importantly, important aspects being shared between the two countries, and India giving out a message that we will not be taking these preposterous allegations against our diplomats. And whatever is going to be at stake, India is going to deal with it later, but we are going to give out a clear signaling at the global stage, because this is going to be a big announcement that India has made, recalling its diplomats. And as I speak, the diplomats are going to, the ambassadors, the High Commissioner is going to be coming back, the other diplomats are going to be coming back. And when we say this, Abhishek, we're also talking about the kind of possibilities that could happen after the High Commissioner being recalled. Now, we are going to be elaborating on that as well. Please tell us, because you've been covering the External Affairs Ministry for so long, Abhishek. You know that these are not escalations that happen in a day. They take time, and India has been following this matter for the last 1 year. But after Indian ambassadors being called persons of interest, India has actually taken a big step. And how do you see this escalation? How do you think it would have worked?
No, there is an immediate trigger and a big provocation, Sucharita, coming in from the Canadian side, where they communicated yesterday that India's ambassador, India's High Commissioner to Canada, Ambassador Sanjay Verma, is a person of interest in an ongoing investigation, which obviously is the investigation into the murder, into the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. And apart from Ambassador Verma, there are a couple of more members of the Indian diplomatic team in Ottawa who are under the radar of Canadian agencies. That's the communication that came from Canadian side, to which India has responded very strongly and called out Justin Trudeau for a very personal hostility that he has been showing towards India, which is effectively translating into the kind of absolutely rabid anti-India positions sometimes we are seeing coming out of the Canadian establishment and administration, and India now deciding that it has to go all out and make sure that India is heard loud and clear, not just in Canada, but around the world, for the manner in which Canada is holding its foreign policy hostage to a very personal hostility that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shows. On that note, we're going into a short break. Coming on the other side, a hot debate on what Canada wants, why Justin Trudeau is up to this farcical anti-India hate from Canadian soil.